Good afternoon, LEAP students. Today, we are going to learn about gerunds and infinitives where the object has different meanings. In today's lesson, we will first do a review of gerunds and infinitives. Then, we'll look at gerunds and infinitives which have different meanings. And finally, we'll finish off with some practice. A gerund is when you add ing to a verb. For example, the verb play will become playing. Some verbs are only followed by gerunds. For example, if we look at the verb recommend. Recommend is a verb that is only followed by a gerund. So we would write, he recommended playing. However, if you tried to write, he recommended to play, that would be incorrect. An infinitive is when we do to plus your base verb. For example, play will become to play. Some verbs are only followed by infinitives. For example, the verb hope is followed only by an infinitive. For example, he hopes to play soon. If you wrote, he hopes playing soon, that would be incorrect. Some verbs are followed by both a gerund and an infinitive, and they have no change in meaning. For example, if we look at the verb like, we can write, I like to play soccer, an infinitive, or we could write, I like playing soccer, a gerund. These essentially have the same meaning. However, sometimes a verb can be followed by a gerund and an infinitive, but they have a different meaning. For example, if we look at the verb stop, we can write, I stopped smoking, or we can write, I stopped to smoke. However, these have a different meaning. Verbs that are followed by gerunds and infinitive with different meanings are stop, forget, remember, and regret. Let's take a look at the verb stop. When stop is followed by an infinitive, there is a reason we stopped, and the reason was to do the action. So for example, your sentence might sound like this. I was walking down the street, I became hungry, I stopped to eat fast food. However, if it's followed by a gerund, it means you quit the action. You do not do the action anymore. For example, eating fast food is really unhealthy. I stopped eating fast food. Now I feel better. Now, let's look at the verb forget. Forget with your infinitive means you did not do something. You were supposed to do it, but you did not remember. For example, I am sorry, teacher. I didn't write down the homework. I forgot to do it. However, if you do forget plus gerund, you did something, but you do not remember doing the action. For example, teacher, you are in trouble. You didn't do your homework again? Student, I am so sorry. Oh wait, here it is. I did do it. I forgot doing it last night. Let's take a look at the verb remember. Remember plus infinitive is you're supposed to do something. You have a plan and you need to not forget. For example, I promised my son I'd play hockey with him. When I saw him, we played hockey. I remembered to play hockey with my son. However, remember plus gerund is you did something and you're sharing that memory with someone. For example, my son is so big and old and doesn't spend time with me. Oh, I remember playing hockey with him every day when he was young. It was so fun. Now, let's look at regret. Regret plus infinitive is when you give bad news to someone and you don't feel good. You feel bad about giving that news. You are my good friend. However, I regret to inform you that you are fired. However, regret plus gerund is you feel bad about an action. For example, I was late for class. My teacher locked the door and I missed the test. I really regret being late for class. Alright, let's do a quick practice with some of these verbs. What I'd like you to try and do is to choose whether it's a gerund or an infinitive for these verbs. You may want to press pause on your video and write them down. All right. So, number 1, I missed the beach. I remember walking on the beach last year. I was so happy. Number 2, I was working and I was so tired yesterday. I stopped to take a nap. I slept and felt much better. Now, let's do it with these next 2. Same thing. All right. Don't forget to do your chores tonight. If you don't do them, you can't play video games. Number 4, I think I've been here before, a long time ago. Oh my gosh, I forgot coming here years ago. I had so much fun. All right, let's do our last one. I lied to my mom and she found out. She looked really disappointed. I feel terrible. I really regret lying. I feel bad about doing it. All right, so let's review what we have learned. We first looked at what gerunds and infinitives are. Then we looked at gerunds and infinitives that have different meanings. And we finished off with some practice. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a good day.